chuckle in it. I'm a reenactor. And for 36 years in the classroom, I basically reenacted history. And I would do it by wearing the garb of the period, and I would also immerse my students in the culture by playing whatever music fit with whatever we were studying. I would display the artwork. I would let the students handle artifacts that I brought in, and I tried to make this a totally immersive experience, trying to bring the past to life. Well, after 36 years in the classroom, I've got time on my hands. I have an entire room at the house filled with garb, and I have a passion for bringing the past to life and a desire to preserve landmarks before they go away. So what I'm doing right now is I am on a very pretentious sounding mission Odyssey, where I am visiting each of the missions in Alta California, plus the Asistencias, spin-off missions, plus the estancias, or whichever ones I can find. Those are the ranchos that were designed to support the missions, plus the presidios, where the soldados de guerra defended the Spanish interests. And what I'm doing today is I am returning to Mission Santa Bárbara, and because I have way too much stuff to tell in very short videos, so here we go, doing it again. So I hope you will stick with me on my journey. What we're going to deal with today is we're dealing with two forces in conflict. One is the move towards secularization, and secularization is basically taking away the church property, and it'll be handed over in land grants. Well, then the opposing force is going to be the church trying to hang on to the land. In 1794, when Mission Santa Bárbara looked like this, a land grant was awarded. Rancho Nuestra Señora del Refugio was the only land grant awarded by Spain to a private citizen in what was going to become Santa Bárbara County. And the former Captain Ortega, who had served in Spain's armies for 40 years, had a 25-mile stretch of the coast as part of his rancho. He made it very profitable, raising cattle, raising sheep. And there was also, because it was the only private land in Santa Bárbara County, he also made a bit of a profit off of smuggling, because he had access to a fine bay. And with the colonies in Alta California relying so heavily upon shipping from Spain, this was filling in the gaps. The rancho shown on this diseño was far enough away from the Presidio in Santa Bárbara to not really attract notice when smuggling happened. About a dozen years after Mexico achieves independence, the land rush is going on, and the mission lands are getting carved up. And a lot of these land grants were handed over as part of the, I would call, the good old boy system. It was a way of rewarding followers, and this has happened throughout history. Go back to the Norman conquest. You hand over land to the buddies that helped support you to get there. Well, in this case, secularization is going to happen a little over a decade after the War for Independence that Mexico won, to get its independence from Spain, and a number of people were given property as basically a, hey, thanks for helping out, you were on the right side. And history rewards the winners. Those first ranchos were on the coast or on the Channel Islands. A good example of the buddy system here is Governor Juan Alvarado awarded the island of Santa Cruz to his aide, Captain Andres Castillero. You're on the right side, you get stuff. One of the people involved in the land rush was George Nedever. He was the one who rescued the lone woman of San Nicolas Island. Well, after the penal colony that the Mexican government tried to put in at San Miguel Island failed, he put in a bid at an auction, and in 1839 was awarded land on San Miguel, and basically was involved in sheep ranching for about 30 years. In 1843, another one of the Channel Islands, Santa Rosa, was awarded by Governor Manuel Micheltorena to the Carrillo brothers, Jose and Carlos. Mission Santa Bárbara continued to provide religious services, and in spite of neophytes being dispersed and alcoholism becoming more rampant and priests having to share quarters with the laity. In the 1840s, the pace of secularization really picked up. Nicholas Den, who was an immigrant from Ireland, he ended up getting the rancho of Dos Pueblos, and sometime later his brother came from Ireland, Richard Den. I believe he was a barber surgeon on a ship. He ended up, I think, serving as alcalde of the Pueblo of Santa Bárbara. And in 1846, when Governor Pio Pico was kind of conducting a fire sale, the Den brothers ended up purchasing the rancho of the former Asistencia San Marcos. So they weren't hurting financially. Dos Pueblos and San Marcos, shown in red on the map, belonged to the Den brothers, two extranjeros from Ireland. Nicholas ended up marrying into one of the first families, or Las Sangres Azules. The church tried to make it difficult for secularization to take place. Father Narcisco Duran, who had been previously at Mission San Jose, had become the Mission Presidente and ended up moving all mission records to Mission Santa Bárbara and took up residence there. He also created quite a stir, and there was an attempt to banish him, which failed. What also ended up taking place and helped the cause of the church was Francisco Garcia Diego y Moreno, the first Catholic bishop of California, chose to reside at Mission Santa Bárbara. When California joined the United States, big changes took place that affected the owners of land, within the state. All those who had been given land grants under the Spanish and under the Mexican governments, they had to reapply to get their patents again. And this was a lengthy, expensive process, and not everybody got to keep their land. In this case, Richard Den of the Den brothers, he had purchased, or he had leased, Mission Santa Bárbara. This was to be his. And there was some question about the legality. Well, in the end, that was denied him by the United States government. And it also made it a little tougher because you did have Father Duran, here, as well as the Bishop of California on the premises. So Santa Bárbara was saved. Even though the Padres were here and the Bishop of California was at Mission Santa Bárbara, the mission still technically was Mission Santa Bárbara. And a petition was sent to the United States government, and in 1865, shortly before the Civil War ended, President Lincoln returned Mission Santa Bárbara to the Catholic Church. Well, not all the lands were returned, but at least the church buildings, gardens, and cemetery were returned, and the Padres were able to continue their normal functions as far as what the mission was about. And in case people think that all the Chumash left, no, that wasn't the case. Some of them continued to stay. Presidential visits became a thing. In April of 1891, Benjamin Harrison visited. Apparently there was little ceremony, even though he was the first president to do so. 10 years later, a grand parade was held in honor of President William McKinley, who had also visited Mission San Buenaventura. President Theodore Roosevelt visited in 1903 after giving an address at Mission San Buenaventura. He complimented the Padres for preserving the memorials of an older civilization. The Queen of the Missions endures, despite a 1925 earthquake from which she bounced back, and to more recent vandalism. In 2017, the statue of Father Cerro was vandalized, decapitated, and covered in red paint. 7 missions accomplished, 6 asistencias, a couple of estancias, an old mission, actually 3 old mission dams, and 2 presidios. And now, on to Mission Santa Ynez. I hope you'll stick with me.